Nobody has more respect for women than I do. Nobody.
Hillary Clinton wants to abolish it, believe me. She wants to abolish our Second Amendment.
I think they didn't deny it. I don't think anybody denied it.
Other presidents did not call. They'd write letters, and some presidents didn't do anything.
Many people have come out and said I'm right.
You really do have to ask yourself, where does it stop?
Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to the second in a short series, probably.
Yeah.
Of,
a special edition, I think they would call that,
yeah.
when they special limited edition.
Of revisiting old fallacies that we're never going to get to in the main feed.
In our kind of another one of our strangely self-imposed timescales where we revisit stuff because we worked out.
I think we don't want to
in
put
our
too
80s
many
by
old
then.
fallacies back in the regular mix. You know, we want to give people a nice, good mix of new fallacies and stuff we've looked at in the past. That means that ultimately it's going to be years before we get to any of the fallacies that we talked about after our first 50-ish.
Yeah.
So, and I've got examples.
Yeah, because being in this, is it a business? I guess being in this business.
I wouldn't call it a business. I think we need to make quite a lot more out of this if we're going to call it a business.
Yeah, to be a business. So I'm thinking in the terms of show business, podcast.
Oh, the business that is show, yes.
The business that is show. Then that we kind of, we do this stuff and then you spot one and go, oh yeah, look at that. That's one of those, and note them down and put them in the. And this is a way you're doing us a favour, actually, dear listeners, because it enables us to just kind of get rid of all of this stuff. Now, who was I talking? I was talking to somebody about a book by. Was it you? A book by Elias Canetti, who wrote.
I think it was me.
There you go. He wrote a great book called Crowds and Power, but he also wrote another book called Auto de Fe, where he, the main character, had all of these books, and his assistant, the interloper in the story, would unpack his head of all of the books.
Right.
So this is you're doing us the service, listener, of unpacking us, of having to carry around these examples.
I can stop thinking about these now.
We can stop thinking about them, then, but we won't, because all it's doing is just emptying the buckets temporarily.
Yeah.
Until they.
Yeah, they were overflowing a
bit,
so we needed to make room for more examples. So,
and it's it's not unpleasant looking back over the thing just to kind of realise, blimey, we've been doing this a long time. And some say too long. And if you're one of those people, I'm surprised that you're listening to this.
Exactly, I hope that. The ones who say too long have stopped. I think they've stopped. I don't think they're patronising us anymore, at least.
Right, that could be it. Yeah. Well, I hope we're not adding to the general malaise around the second Trump presidency, but we're actually bringing some levity to the thing. So that also worries me. Occasionally we were doing this long. We did it through the Biden administration as well. The whole of that. Are we adding to the general greyness of everything, or are we bringing a bit of sunshine?
It's officially past our 8th birthday.
Right?
No, it's not. No, it isn't. No, I'm crazy. It's our 7th birthday. It was our 7th birthday last month, end of last month. So it's officially, we haven't quite done 2 full administrations.
Right.
So we've got another year to go until we make that.
Yeah.
Once we've done our 200th episode, then we will have done 8 years of this. And
do you think we could get Scaramucci to come back on that one and say, you didn't think this was going to happen again?
if we give him another, however much it was on Cameo, sure. But I have contacted him since then, because he did say, I need to come out. I've contacted him, never heard back.
No, he's far too busy trying to earn a living, by
he's doing the
being
News
a
Agents
pundit.
USA, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's doing,
and I think he's still
you think they'd want to get that
apologising.
off the ground and give it, get people listening. So he should come on our show.
Just come on our show, and we'd be prepared to let him talk about, do the plug for the News Agents.
We'll let him talk about it. Yeah,
we've all worked with Emily Maitlis, and once travelled in a lift with Emily Maitlis.
Absolutely, yeah.
She didn't recognise me.
That coincidentally is my connection to Emily Maitlis. is I know you and you once travelled in a lift with her.
There you go. I know someone who once travelled in a lift with. I once danced with the girl who danced with the man who danced with the Prince of Wales. No, that doesn't work. Princess of Wales. Yeah, dance with the
Close
man.
enough.
Dance. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what we're doing here is basically looking at newer examples, or examples that I have come across since we did these episodes.
Yeah.
And therefore they weren't able to be included. When we do an episode, as for the Fallacy in the Wild section, I will often find many examples.
Right.
Some of which are better at describing the fallacy or different aspects of the fallacy than others. And so one thing I'm not doing here is ones that I considered but rejected for the episode, because there's loads of those. There's a ton. Because I'll sometimes find 6 or 7, and then I'll pick the 3 or 4,
the ones that do it
at
best,
a push, that best describe the fallacy. So these are ones which, since we did the episode, I've seen this.
They've occurred.
And thought, oh, that's also a good way of describing it. Well, that's a nice.
Well, that's good. That's kind of reassuring that you're not keeping the rejects.
I'm not recycling rejects. No, these are...
No, but you don't keep the rejects. This is quality
stuff. I don't keep
to fill up your brain.
No.
And then find new ones to fill up your brain. You actually do delete stuff.
Sometimes it will be, when I'm searching, sometimes it will be things I can, like things... If it's friends examples, it's usually like, that came into my head when I was thinking about the fallacy. But often I will be searching... databases or whatever for examples of the kind of wording that is often employed in that fallacy, and it'll throw up examples that I will then get a copy of that thing, be it a film or an episode, watch it in that context, and
see if it actually
does that actually do a good job of describing this and giving you an example of the fallacy. And sometimes, in fact, probably 60% of the time, the one that I find that in the script looks like it might do something, then I look at it and I'm like, actually, that's a bad example, or it's kind of someone talking in the background and it's just, not a good one. So sometimes it won't turn out to be useful. Sometimes it doesn't really describe the fallacy well, and so I curate the best examples for you, the listeners.
There you go. Yeah, and you think we do nothing over here?
It takes me fucking ages.
Yeah, exactly. I'm travelling on the shoulders of a giant here, clinging onto his coattails. Yeah,
and So as I say, these aren't the offcuts that were not good enough to make it into episodes. These are
that have new bugged us
new
since.
Things that have come across my desk.
Yeah. It would be interesting, actually. I think, to a certain extent, on the socials, and you can find us on the Facebook and on Discord.
I don't think they call it the Facebook anymore.
The Facebook, do they not? No. On the face space. Yeah, no, that was a rhyming fallacy, wasn't it? That our listeners have identify stuff and shove it on there and say, "Oh, I just found this." And isn't it annoying? And you go, oh yeah, there you go. That's a good example of that.
We did get a few like that. Yeah, that's true. I haven't included any of those either, to be honest. So not because they're not great or I don't enjoy hearing them. It's just when you I feel in a way, because it's come from a listener, the listeners already know about that. Therefore, there's no need.
Don't need to tell anyone.
Anyone. Yeah. So maybe I should actually.
But it's also kind of stuff, and it's a kind of thanks very much, and we're sorry, because when I used to teach film, and I would choose contemporary TV episodes and kind of break them down and show how what we are perceiving in this little scene isn't actually, we are bringing a lot to it. And my students would go away and watch stuff and come back, and then they would go, "Yeah, you've ruined television." And they go, "Yeah." So in a way, we've kind of ruined politics. Oh, I hope we have.
Oh, let's hope. Yeah, absolutely.
That would be good.
If that's all that comes out of this,
it's
then our
work is done. Yeah,
I'll be very happy.
Yeah, you could chalk us up into the annals of history.
Yeah,
of having brought that about. Yeah,
absolutely. What a legacy.
Bring you down the Trump administration one fallacy at a time. Yeah.
I think that is our our official slogan.
It is. Yeah. Need that on a T-shirt. Yeah.
So, last time, the last one we talked about was episode 65, Argument from Consequences. We're starting this time with episode 71, the anecdotal fallacy.
Yeah.
And
notice there we've skipped some, so
that's
because we were employing the furtive fallacy. What are we not?
What are we trying to hide? We will essentially probably revisit this theme at a later date, and maybe those missing episodes will have examples next time. But in this one, anecdotal fallacy is basically when someone offers an anecdote as proof of what they're saying, which depending on what they're saying it doesn't necessarily run contrary to the fact. It's just that they're giving the anecdote more weight than it deserves, because an anecdote is not often a good way of deciding whether something is true in all cases or for a wide number of people, because all it says is that it was true for one person. That's basically what an anecdote is.
Trump lives by that. And didn't we have wasn't this Michael Gove's father who,
quite
in
possibly,
his experience, thought the European experiment had ruined him? Yeah, well, it ruined the rest of us.
And it wasn't. And the anecdote he told wasn't even true.
No, that's right.
But if it had been, it still wouldn't have made the point he wanted to make.
Yeah, it sounded like an anecdote, and he thought that he had a personal anecdote would lend some weight to the truth of his argument.
Yes. So our example here comes from the really, I thought, excellent film Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I really enjoyed it.
Right.
And this is Margaret's little friend group, kind of run in a way by Nancy, who submits them to various kind of tests to make sure they're developing in the way that she
now
deems
it's time
appropriate.
to check
for the bras.
Gretchen has a bra. Janie has a bra. Margaret has a bra. Now let's go around and tell our sizes.
Well, mine didn't say it had a size. It just said it was a grow bra.
Yeah, I got that one too. Oh, same here.
Not me. I'm a 32 AA. If you ever want to get out of those small bras, you're going to have to do the same exercise and technique I do.
There's an exercise?
Of course there is. You hold your arms out like this and you say, I must increase my bust. I must increase my bust.
Does that really work?
I'm living proof.
So Nancy claims that it obviously works because she does it, and her living bra proof. Size is not a grow bra size, it's an actual bra size.
Yeah.
So therefore, clearly it works and it's worth doing. Yeah. Now, this as a concept, I must increase the bust, is I don't know, genuinely, societally, if its entire growth comes from this book, which was an incredibly popular book in America. It's Judy Blume, one of those things that is kind of a coming of age rite of passage for especially American girls. It's not quite the same in the UK. It's known, but it isn't a thing that is super wide. But I've certainly heard this chant before, this kind of rhyme, along with the kind of the exercise thing.
Yeah, it feels like a 70s
very
rhyme.
Much so. It's a 70s book.
There you go. It kind of feels sort of, that sort of Rowan and Martin's laughing set, that was the 60s. It feels like that kind of, ditzy American stuff. As
far as I'm concerned, it's entirely possible that rhyme comes specifically from this book.
Wow.
And therefore it was published in 1970, the book. And therefore that's why it is well known. But my understanding is at least that it was believed by people to be a thing that is worth doing.
Yeah.
And if all of that is true, and I'm again by no means the expert in this area, and I don't think, I don't know if that is indeed where the source of it, or if it was already a thing before the book came out.
Right.
But as far as I know, it came from the book. A lot of American young tween girls read the book. My understanding is some believed this was a thing and did it. All of that comes from Nancy's anecdote. That is worth doing because it works for her. Yeah.
Wow. It's a bit like Charles Atlas. It's that kind of the equivalent of that for, dynamic tension and having sand kicked in your face on the thing. Yeah, it's that kind of, it's equivalent of that, where it's joined, that it's probably, I suspect that she was writing it down from something that she had experienced.
Possibly.
So it was the kind of thing from,
I know we have American listeners of an age suitable to know this information. So,
yes,
by all means,
let us know.
I'm sure you have better information than I do. Do let us know if this is a thing that you first came across reading this book, or if it existed beforehand,
or whether it existed and then she was the one that committed it to paper. Yes, yes,
and indeed, if when you were growing up you thought it was a real thing and did it, maybe,
and did that thing.
If you don't, feel free not to let us know that if you want. But
and is there was there a parallel scientific study? Bit like the Charles Atlas dynamic tension.
Have any
thing.
info on that? That would be also useful.
Yeah, because that would be what you want. Because we'd want the social history of the anecdote, and then also,
in a way,
I'd the scientific
be a little surprised if no 70s American girl ever grew up to be a scientist and then wrote a thesis on
exactly, does it
actually increase the bust?
Does it actually?
That must have happened, surely.
Yeah, got to be that. Cause it's power of positive, but positive thinking. Yeah.
So our next fallacy is the accent fallacy, and this is
which we alluded to last time.
We mentioned it. Yeah. This is when the meaning of a sentence or phrase, or sometimes even just a word in a phrase, is changed by placing the emphasis on a different part, or basically they're using exactly the same words, but they're saying it in a way that changes the meaning. Or when it's written down, it's about leaving that ambiguity in place, because you can't necessarily show the emphasis in writing, but you might benefit by people reading it one way and therefore being likely to believe the point that you're trying to make. Yeah. Rather than reading it the other way, because
which is kind of there's a
you might not be quite saying it right.
my son's gag on his somewhere on social media, where you can't hear him saying. So my surname is pronounced Levermore, but it's often pronounced Levermore. So on his tag, it's written down the two words and Levermore.
Right.
And of course, when you read it, it doesn't convey the pronunciation, which makes it hilarious until people kind of read it and go, so they're reading it in however many ways.
It's like someone with a really, really complicated surname and someone says, how is it spelled, how it sounds.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah. Like Apu out of The Simpsons.
Yes.
Yes.
So, the accent fallacy. Our first example of this comes from The Simpsons. This is a very early episode when The Simpsons are being shown a very broken down RV because it's all they can afford.
It's got a tree growing through the hood.
Mr. Simpson, you're never going to own a better RV. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean literally, buddy. This is it for you, It's this or a wagon.
So you're never going to own a better RV.
Yeah,
in
it's
many
that kind
ways,
of advertising
would often
speak,
be used. Absolutely, it would often be used to suggest that this is the best you could possibly get.
Yeah,
and which also is true in this case.
And then he just punctured it. No, I mean literally. Yeah, you're never going to own it. It's it for you. Yeah. Excellent.
Because he's already run Homer's credit check by this point, and sirens went off, and Homer said, am I getting approved? And he said, when have you known a siren to be good?
Excellent. Yeah.
So
nice.
this is the thing with advertising, is there's ways of phrasing it that might suggest a thing.
Yes.
Like, this is the best you can get, not necessarily meaning it's actually
this
really
is
good.
The best you can get. Yeah. There's there was an advertising campaign for Thames Water before they just got fined £173 million for putting sewage into the rivers. But their advertising was running water for you, which is very good.
It's good
very good thing. And but then British Gas tried to ape that by saying piping gas for you.
Yeah,
I think there isn't a double entendre for that. There is no other way of doing that.
Yeah,
piping gas or hot gas? What? No, idiots.
The other thing is when people talk about improvements, like if a water company said, now the cleanest it's ever been, it's like, okay, good, but still, like that says bad things about what it used to be like.
What it used to be like,
is it clean, or is it just cleaner than it used to be? There was in the 30s there was a toilet paper company that was advertised. They advertised their toilet paper as now splinter free. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
My God. You would not have wanted to buy that. Yeah. So you go, oh, right, finally I can buy that. Yeah, I'm going to buy that one because, it's now safe. Yes. What is that whole gag
the least splinters ever.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that kind of gag, which is along the lines of, is it true you've stopped beating your wife? No, when did you stop beating
complex
your wife?
question type thing.
Yeah, which is kind of, I like your hair, and then the respondent says, well, what was wrong with it before? It's that kind of a thing, yes, where you think, oh, actually, yes, no, you're putting the emphasis in the wrong place. Yes, you're accenting my reply incorrectly. Yeah, which leads us nicely into the British series of...
Well,
is it British?
No. They're a British couple who are talking in this clip, but this is from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is the rather excellent, I thought.
Yes, I did start watching this and then kind of forgot about it.
Yeah. This is the TV version of the Brad Pitt Angelina Jolie film.
Yeah,
starring Donald Glover.
Yeah,
and I forget who plays Mrs. Smith in this, but they're basically they're assassins who are posing as a married couple. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, very gritty, very hard hitting. I liked it. Yeah,
and quite funny as well. And in this scene, they are surveilling a couple, who one of them is likely someone they're supposed to be trying to kill, but they don't know the details yet. But they're kind of keeping an eye on them in the ski resort, and they are not a happy couple. And this is a conversation that the Smiths overhear.
You said last night that you weren't going to work the whole day.
No, I didn't. I said I wasn't going to work the whole day. I have to work some of the day.
That's not what she said.
No, he obviously misunderstood her. You're just deliberately misunderstanding me so you can be upset with me.
See?
No, you said I will not work the whole day.
No, I said I will not work the whole day.
Okay, I wish I had a recording right now so I could play back how wrong you are.
We do have a recording. Should we give it to him?
Yeah, we got a recording. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
Somebody. Was it? I want to say it was an American comic, a woman who has a British husband, and she said, I think we should have children. And he said, yeah, we could do that. and she heard it as, yeah, we could do that. So it's,
So by putting the emphasis on a different word in the exact same sentence, these two people in this relationship are hearing completely different things and having a totally different expectation of what's going to happen this day. Whereas she is on her phone actually working, and he was under the impression she was not going to work for the whole day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, this is the one where she comes out, the woman, Mrs. Smith, comes out of the thing, has to hide behind because there's like a big gunfight breaks out, I seem to recall, in this ski resort scene, and she has to kind of hide behind a thing, and then they barely get away with their lives.
Yeah.
And then they realise,
well, they're having issues in their relationship, as you may have heard. So it's kind of mirroring the difficulties that the couple that they're looking at have. So,
it's good. I would even go
really
as far to
good
say it's probably better than the film.
I think it probably is.
Yeah.
It kind of explores different themes because it's a slightly different setup. It's based on the very basic concept of a married couple of assassins, but it's a very different setup. So
no, it's very good. Oh, that's a good reminder. Thank you for that. I'll have to go back and rewatch that again. Yeah.
Yeah, so our next one is episode 75, Tokenism. The tokenism fallacy is when someone basically makes a very small gesture but claims that it is significant. Claims that it actually means that they can't be accused of not having done this thing. Because look at that tiny thing they did once. Or
Trump's all over this.
One example.
Yeah.
And so our first example is from Trump, and it actually this example is from an interview that he did with Don Lemon back before he was actually kind of officially running the first time,
right?
About how he has black friends and therefore can't be racist,
right?
But it was triggered in my mind to look back at it because of a quite recent interview he did with Semaphore in last year, 2024, where what he said was, I have so many black friends that if I were racist, they wouldn't be friends. They would know better than anybody and fast. They would not be with me for 2 minutes if they thought I was racist, and I'm not racist. So that essentially is, I can't be racist, I have black argument. Friends. And this is what he said back in, I think it was 2011 with Don Lemon.
What about the comment you said when you referred to the blacks, that you had a good relationship with the blacks? Do you understand how some people will take that phrasing?
Some people do and some people don't. I mean, I've heard it both ways. It's something that I said, and I think I've had many people say there was absolutely nothing wrong with that comment.
You don't feel that there was anything wrong with it?
I personally don't feel there was anything wrong with it. I mean, I see shows advertised positively black. I see another show advertised, Black Agenda, on MSNBC, the Black Agenda. And then when I say that, very few, I have to tell you, there's been very little talk about it, but every once in a while somebody will bring it up. I see absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Well, those shows aren't called the blacks agenda or the gays agenda or the whites agenda.
I really think this. I have many, many black friends who said to me, absolutely not a problem, that statement.
So he goes through several different fallacies in this short sequence.
Yeah.
Because first of all, he says many people have said to me it isn't a problem.
Yeah.
So he's doing the argument from popularity. Then he tries a kind of whataboutism tu quoque of TV shows use black in a positive way and it's perfectly fine. People, TV shows are called the black thing or, that. And Don Lemon rightfully points out there's a difference between the black agenda and the blacks agenda, that calling a group of people the blacks is racist, but calling them black isn't racist. And so he pivots, having had both of his prior arguments shut down to, I have lots of black friends, and they've said it's fine. Well, he also, in between those, says it hardly ever comes up. No one has a problem with this, basically. No one, this doesn't get raised much, but occasionally it does. And all of my black friends say it's fine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, needless to say, I'm a little bit skeptical that Trump has many black friends, given that he doesn't have friends. So that would be mathematically impossible.
Yeah.
But even if he does have black friends, that doesn't make him not a racist, because the basis on which people are saying he's a racist is all the racist things he's done and said, most of which were on camera, into a microphone, or in print over the course of like 40 years.
Yeah.
Starting with refusing to rent to black people and going just
and
like repeated
sued for
examples
it.
of not treating the blacks well.
It's the same. I can't remember whether I brought up the argument at the time, but it's the same argument that Priti Patel uses in her defence for upholding the structural racism in the then Conservative government. Was I can't be racist because I'm brown.
I think I mean it's also not a successful argument in her case.
No,
but the fact that she is part of an oppressed minority, is a much stronger argument than I have friends who are.
Yes.
I, a privileged white man who has never done any real work in my life, have friends who are oppressed, and therefore I can't be racist.
I'm not. Yeah.
And those are made up friends anyway. But Priti Patel is Asian.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, should give her more empathy with people who are disadvantaged due to their race.
Yes, exactly.
Doesn't, and therefore she's a terrible person. One of the, I mean, I say therefore, that's one of the reasons she's a terrible person.
But it's not the only one.
No.
Yeah. And I think at the time
she would be the only reason.
She was, I think it was Diane Abbott, who is Afro-Caribbean in origin, think so. She was saying, yes, what you are enacting racist policies, because it was around the time of the Windrush scandal and all of that kind of stuff. If it wasn't Patel, it was Suella Braverman. And Priti Patel said, you can't lecture me about being racist when I was called the P word at school because of my origin. And you go, well, no, I can. That isn't.
Those are two separate things.
That isn't a get out. You can't distract me from your racist behaviours by saying you were subject to racist abuse.
Yeah.
You know, I empathise with the fact that you were, as was I, speaking as Diane Abbott. That ought to give you a little more empathy with the case I am bringing to you.
Yeah,
which I
think
policies you're enacting are inherently racist.
There's a slightly stronger argument if you're doing essentially what Priti Patel has done, but what you're being accused of is anti-white racism. If you are a minority who is being accused of treating white people unfairly, because of the historical context of minorities being treated unfairly by white people, and white people don't have that context, do not have a historical experience of being oppressed. She's doing it to other oppressed minorities. That's why it is such a bad argument from her perspective, is you can absolutely be racist against other minorities or even your own minority despite being a part of an oppressed group or even a part of the group you're oppressing.
Yeah.
If you're saying, essentially what most arguments of claiming anti-white racism come down to is arguing against the automatic privilege of white people.
Yeah.
And so when it's black people arguing against the automatic privilege of white people say, you're being racist against white people.
Yeah.
And so if they were then to say, I can't be racist, I'm black, it's a bad argument.
Yeah.
That's not the reason they're not being racist. Or that even if they are discriminating in part based on race, that it isn't a big deal if they're doing it against the privilege of white people. But when you're a minority who is oppressing other minority groups, your minority status does not absolve you from racism or mean you can't be accused of racism. I think maybe it's on the fringes of tokenism, but I don't think I know I'm not. I would hesitate to say that being part of a minority group is a minimal gesture or a small thing on that road. Arguably, our next example,
there you go,
could fit better into this
across the two. Yes,
because it's Carla Sofia Gascon, who was the trans actress who was nominated for best actress. She was. She should have been a supporting actress at best, but also not nominated at all. But she was nominated for best actress for Emilia Perez, and was then kind of cancelled by the industry because a journalist discovered a lot of really racist tweets that she had previously put out, and a lot of objectionable content, and she kind of tried to do damage limitation, and the fact that she is part of the trans community and also Latina means that she was kind of able to say, I believe in inclusiveness and wouldn't ever do anything like that. Didn't work because she clearly did all the things that she was being accused of. But she was making that argument essentially that as a member of a historically oppressed group, or even a currently oppressed group, really, it's unfair to accuse her of that kind of thing. But she also,
which is also a way of saying gives me license to.
In a way. But she also specifically trotted out the tokenism fallacy in one of her non-apology rants that she did, which she put on Instagram, a post that included, "They've already won, they've achieved their objective to stain my existence with lies or things taken out of context." They weren't taken out of context.
No.
Anyone who knows me knows that I am not a racist. Bracket, you will be surprised when you find out that one of the most important people in my current life and that I love the most is Muslim. Nor any of the things for which I have been judged or condemned without trial and without option to explain true intention. So, she's basically
for one thing,
saying
Muslim isn't a race.
Well, no, but she was being accused of Islamophobia. Was one of the big things she was being accused of, because she's Islamophobic and was had a number of very specifically Islamophobic tweets. And as well as other racist stuff and just anti-minority stuff. So the fact, if it's true, that a person who is in her life and is important to her is a Muslim, again, I think works not in her favour, because you would think it would give her an understanding.
Most people, bit more empathy, and
most people who either grow up in a part of society where they are around diversity, or who surround themselves with a diverse group of people, tend not to be racist. They tend to not hold those views, those stereotypes of minorities, because they know them not to be true, based on the fact that they know individuals from those minorities, or individuals from minorities who are similarly stereotyped, and therefore are able to make that connection of, I hear things about this other person I know well, maybe those other things I hear about that other group aren't true either. And my kids have grown up in classrooms with every race and all kinds of different religions and people like that, and have never blinked at it or think it's in any way odd or unusual, or that those people are different in any way, because of course not, because that's because when you grow up, and that's why cities tend to be more liberal than rural areas, because there tends to be a more cosmopolitan mix of different groups. And when you're around those people,
and it does make you realise that
see them as other.
Yes, exactly. That kind of otherism is a learned thing. And we know that to be true from our experience. That our kids were brought up in cosmopolitan environments where there were no others. There was just they were just their friends. They were just all the other kids. We were all kids. It's like living on Sesame Street. Wasn't that used as a derogatory term about the mixed diversity of Sesame Street? And that was the whole point of Sesame Street. Was to
certainly when they've tried to introduce differences, they've specifically made an effort, because it's part of what they do on Sesame Street. They've introduced kids who represent ethnic minorities or gay kids or that kind of thing, or trans characters. And there's always a backlash from people saying, "How dare you introduce politics into this show that has been political since the '60s?"
Yes, but based against the backdrop serving to provide a difference of opinion against the political trends of that there are other people are less of a citizen than I am.
Yes.
So and Sesame Street was built on that, to say there were Hispanic characters very early on, there were black characters very early on, there were blue furry characters very early on. It's a massive bird. There's a guy that lives in a bin. There was all that, and they all just go, "Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough." And there's a small squeaky monster that likes wasabi, and that's why he's got no eyelids, and. All of that stuff, and it was all about that. And there's a frog, for Christ's sake. Was he on there? No.
Yeah, he was. He played a reporter character.
That's right. Yeah, and a monster
Roving
that just ate cookies.
Frog.
And that's what's that? Was it Grover? There's a brilliant. That's
Grover's
just made me think of a
Super Grover. You mean?
Super Grover. Yeah, and isn't there? There's one. There's somebody trying to do the alphabet. Maybe it is Kermit.
Yeah, no, it's. I remember that
with the kid.
Is Grover. Yes.
Oh, is it? Or is it? Is it Grover?
I think it's Grover.
When he's going ABC, and then
and the kid is messing up deliberately.
Yeah. And it gets to the end, and she just goes, "I love you," and he goes, "I love you too." Yeah, so good.
It's so good.
And you think, bloody hell! I mean, that's the fact that was required then against the backdrop of inequality,
the civil rights movement, essentially. At the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you think, well, how do we do it? And it won everybody's hearts. Well, it won. and yet, when they try and introduce another character, going, okay, here's another oppressed minority. So what we'll do, we'll just add that to the panoply of peoples that live in. And then the Republicans just go, oh, yeah, you're ruining
indoctrination.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the fact that you know someone or are friends with someone who is in the minority that you're accused of being racist against, is not only not a good argument, but in my opinion paints you as a worse person.
Yeah. It undermines your argument. It doesn't support your argument at all. It undermines it.
Your racism is despite knowing someone who is affected directly by the horrible things you say and do.
Yeah. So. Despite even if you claim that many of them say no, it's absolutely fine. Your racist outbursts, absolutely fine. Even see, I've got the approval, got the thumbs up from the very peoples that I'm suppressing in the way that I'm talking about this stuff. They say, that's fine. Yeah, you just carry on. Yeah.
So. Our next example, our next fallacy, rather, is another one of the ones we made up. It's ignoring linear time.
Yay. Yeah.
This is when someone acts like because something hasn't happened yet, then it can't happen or won't happen.
Right.
So, basically, the common phrasing of it, which we'll hear a couple of times, is basically if it was going to happen, it would have already happened, which cannot be true 100% of the time. Yeah. Because, everything that's ever happened, there was a time before it happened, arguably
where
except the Big Bang, because time didn't really exist in a proper way before the Big Bang happened.
Well, it was the end of the previous one.
Theories.
It would have been the Big Crunch.
That's a
prior
theory.
To that.
There's no. I don't think you can provide evidence for that. There's
no.
But at least by some models of the universe, time started with the Big Bang. And so that's really the only thing that you could say. If it was going to happen, it would have already happened.
Yeah.
But it does get used an enormous amount. And so I have got three examples. This one.
Yeah, and it's also it kind of always seems to me to be used as a mild threat.
Sometimes it is, yes.
Yeah.
Well, two of the examples we have are almost identical, but I wanted to give an example from a very bad film and a very good film to show that it's used across the entire range of the cinematic experience. So these are, again, almost identical examples. The first one is from a film called The Minute You Wake Up Dead, which somehow they managed to get Morgan Freeman to play the sheriff in. He hasn't got a big part. He was probably on set for like a day, but still, it's a bad film. And so someone goes to see him. He's the sheriff. Someone goes to see him to complain that they're getting death threats, or at least kind of threatening phone calls.
I wouldn't worry too much about it. I mean, if he wanted to kill you, you'd be dead by now.
You know, Sheriff, that's really comforting.
Yeah, so that's his response to the threatening phone calls. It can't be dangerous, these threatening phone calls that you're getting, because if
they really meant it, if they were dangerous,
they would have already done it.
Yeah.
And again, that's not how time works, because if someone's plan is to threaten you, then kill you, there's a point before they kill you when they still plan to kill you, when they want you dead.
Yeah. Because
so
if it's
the fact
true
you're not
that
dead
they were
isn't
going
evidence.
to kill you, they would have already killed you.
Yeah.
That is not. It's they could have not yet killed you, but it's still true that they're going to kill you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in very much the same way, we have a clip from The Godfather where Tom Hagen is out buying Christmas presents and he is assaulted by a group of thugs.
Tom Hagen, Merry Christmas. Hey, I'm glad I run into you. I want to talk to you.
Well, I haven't got time.
Make time, consigliere. Get in the car. What are you worried about? If I wanted to kill you, you'd be dead already.
So, again...
It doesn't make you relax, does it? Hearing that.
You can see the point, because, I mean, these are the kind of people who will gun down people in the street, so they could... the argument could be that if their main goal, if their only goal was violence, they would just shoot you. You'd just be dead by now. So clearly the fact they've approached you and asked you to get in the car with them is at least an indication that there's something else that they want other than for you to be dead.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that isn't what they ultimately want, though, and if you get in a car with them and go somewhere they're going to drive you to, that could be because they want to kill you not on a busy street, or because after they get information from you they want to kill you, or it's not a great argument that if they wanted to kill you, you'd already be dead.
And actually, it's a good the kind of that backdrop within which that phrase would be used, and the hero working despite that is the plot line of nearly all Doctor Who episodes, where he will see the little you see, yes, but you haven't killed me yet. So he will find a little loophole and then, bring down the wrath of the collective galactic time lords, here, there, and everywhere, now, yesterday, and tomorrow. But that heroic space is available for those, and Holmes does it as well, is to spot that in the face of somebody pointing a gun at your head, to turn it on its head and say, if you were going to kill me, you would have done it already. So I know that you're not. It's James Bond as well, isn't it? It's that kind of that little fag paper of a gap between him holding the gun to your head and not yet killed you, where the bad guy starts monologuing, and that's when you release yourself from your bonds.
Yeah, I think there's better evidence on that side, because yes, if someone does threaten you but doesn't take that violent action, there's a reason
Yeah.
they haven't taken that violent action. And I mean, in the real world, probably the reason they haven't taken a violent action because they don't want to commit themselves to you dying.
Yeah. Because in the real world, there are consequences.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
right,
so I don't think it's completely unreasonable to believe that if someone threatens you but doesn't take action, then not necessarily that it's an empty threat, but that their goal isn't to see you dead. Their goal isn't for you to be injured by them. It's to get something else, and so there's possibly an alternative way out of the situation.
But they want you to feel that. It's only by their grace that you're not dead already. Yeah. And as soon as they kind of say, if I wanted you dead, it would have happened already. Yeah, that's the point at which Sherlock Holmes, Cumberbatch's Sherlock Holmes, or any old doctor who would have said, "Oh, I've noticed you've employed non-linear time there." Particularly appetite to the Time Lords. They would do that.
If weight management is one of your New Year goals, Quicksilver Scientific's GLP-1 amplifier can help. This science-backed formula supports metabolic balance, curbs cravings, and promotes healthy blood sugar levels, making it easier to stay consistent and in control. It helps give your body the boost it needs to keep you on track. Feel confident and energized this year with Quicksilver Scientific's GLP-1 amplifier. Get 10% off and free shipping at tryqs.com/podcast. Again, that's tryqs.com/podcast for 10% off and free shipping. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Yeah.
So our final example in this fallacy is a less violent one.
Yeah.
This is from the rather excellent series, The Agency, which is a Michael Fassbender kind of CIA MI5 spy thriller thing based on a French original series called Bureau des Légendes, which was also excellent.
Right.
And well worth watching, actually. The both versions, they're slightly different, but both very good. And this is an aside between two of the more minor characters in the show, really, while they're busy fighting spy threats.
Go for a drink with me.
Oh, we're doing this now? On like the busiest, most stressful day ever?
It's always busy. If I wait for a slow day, you're going to be married with 3 kids.
If this is a thing, it would have happened by now.
Yeah. So her argument to shut him down is they haven't gone out yet, so it's not going to happen.
Yeah. If it was going to happen, it would have already, which, kind of taken away from the threat of death context, you kind of think, oh yeah, no, fair enough. There's something to do with the kind of the business of love where you just think, oh yeah, that's I don't know whether that chimes with my cognitive bias on the male side of things, but when you're told that, said if it's not going to happen, you just give it up. if it was going to happen, it would have already happened by now. So, but even if it would probably be more fallacious if you'd only just started on that quest.
Yes, absolutely.
If this was the first time you'd asked her.
Yes, I think there's an implication here that this is not the first time he's asked. That I could be wrong, but that is the vibe I get. They've worked together for a while. He's tried it on before,
right?
And that therefore is a more reasonable response to say, if it was going to happen, I would have responded positively before
already.
When you've asked. If it is the first time he's asking, then if this is the first time it's come up that there might be some kind of romantic interaction between them, and she said like it would have happened by now if it was going to happen, that's absolutely not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
So it's not how that works.
Because you didn't even know I existed until this moment.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. It's good to know that the fallacy can exist without the threat of death.
Outside of death, yes.
Outside of death. Yeah. It's always encouraging. Yeah.
So our next example is the McNamara fallacy, episode number 78.
Yeah.
This comes from the US Defense Secretary, who was basically doing kind of measuring deaths in Vietnam as a proxy for how well the US was doing.
Things was going, yes.
Which is not a great way of measuring, arguably a wrong tool for measuring how well the Vietnam campaign was going on the US side.
Yeah, because fewer people were dying. Yes,
and so it's about collecting data. In part, when it's easy to collect data, so you're choosing the information you gather based on what's available to gather, rather than what is actually useful to know or useful to the situation. Right. But because there is a simple number that you can pick, that you can say, well, look at this. This is a thing I can point to and say, here's evidence in my favour. Yeah, it isn't necessarily readily available. Describing that situation.
Yeah.
So this example comes from Taskmaster. This is not one of the regular series of Taskmaster, but the one-off New Year episode that was.
But they get non-comedians in, don't they? They get kind of newsreaders and
all kinds of different celebrities
public figures.
In.
Yeah.
This particular one, the task was do something you'll regret. Biggest regret wins, and the person we're going to look at is Martin Lewis, who is I would guess unknown outside the UK. He's known as the money-saving expert, and he basically has a blog about ways to save money in your daily life and good investments and that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, he has a massive kind of website which
huge
says
following.
How to compare your home insurance or your your bank account, and he kind of puts up stuff about, okay, if you're this current credit card provider has this thing where if you transfer all your other credit cards, you'll get this much money off and things. So he's a big advocate for swapping your providers in order to, and he'll show you all the shortcuts.
Yeah, he kind of gives you advice on taking advantage of offers that are being given by companies or by banks or whatever. And so he got a big following. He was on this episode, and unsurprising for someone who sets up that kind of website. Initially as a kind of labour of love and turns it into a business, he is quite analytical, quite anal. So his response to the do something you'll regret task was this.
I'm not doing it.
What's that, Martin?
I was going to take my fitness tracker off and get steps without it counting. That's just not happening. There's something, this show isn't worth it, frankly. It literally goes against every fibre of everything I do to simply walk around for a length of time without your fitness tracker on. I average 25,000 steps a day. I've not missed 10,000 steps. I mean, there's no point in walking if it's not counting. Okay, I'm talking myself into it. Let's just do it. I monitor my blood pressure, I monitor my heart rate, I monitor my sleep, I have a graph of every game I played against my wife at Scrabble. All of that is part of my personality. And this is just the opposite.
Well, Martin, I would sum up your attempt with just 3 words that I wrote down and see if everyone agrees with me. Your poor wife.
I love that bit where he says, it's not worth walking if you're not measuring it.
That's the thing.
Which is,
and part of, it has been said, can be a little bit analytical.
I don't know that I've ever said that. I do agree with
that word. But
yeah.
I feel, I totally empathise with this feeling. I have a watch that tracks my steps.
Yeah.
And if it's a as most things are these days, it's chargeable via USB. So I have to take it off my wrist and plug it in once a week for at least a few hours.
Okay.
Sometimes overnight. It depends when it runs out of battery, but it's usually once a week for a bit. When it's not on my wrist, I genuinely feel there's no point walking. There's no point going anywhere or doing anything because it's not being measured. Yes.
Wow.
Obviously, I intellectually know that the purpose of walking, if your goal is to get a certain number of steps in a day, it's because walking is good for your health generally. It's
right.
It helps.
It's not for the measurement of it.
No. Absolutely. Yeah. The exercise is the reward itself. Essentially, you get benefits from it health wise.
Yeah.
Whether it's being measured or not doesn't make any difference. But I completely recognise that feeling of it's not tracking it, so there's no point doing it at the moment. I'll wait until it's charged and then I'll walk.
Then I'll do that.
Because
by which time the shops will be
somehow
shut.
worth more. It's more useful.
Well, it's got
better.
Oddly, whilst I don't get that sense, I did immediately when you said I only have to charge it once a week. I was thinking, well, obviously you're going to charge it overnight when you're not walking. So that's my response to that, which is not dissimilar. Where but I'm kind of thinking,
no,
you're gonna
I would charge it
that
overnight
stuff
if its battery loss was linear, and it got to a point where it was like on 10%, and I was like, okay, well, this isn't going to last all of tomorrow, so I'll charge it tonight.
Charge it overnight,
But it seems to go, like, it gradually goes down over the course of 4 or 5 days to about 30%, and then it loses the rest of it.
Just goes off
really quickly.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit, it's run out of battery completely, and I need to charge it.
Couldn't you just go, well, I'm just gonna charge it overnight anyway?
That's
then it would never run down.
Then I wouldn't be wearing my watch every night. What are you talking about?
But why do you need it overnight? Oh, does it measure things that are happening overnight as well, like your sleep?
It measures sleep and stuff. I don't really use it for that. But no, I am a person who, prior to a watch needing to be charged, would just never take my watch off. I would buy specifically buy watches that were waterproof, so that I didn't ever have to take my watch off in the shower or in a swimming pool or whatever.
Wow, because you'd need to measure how long you've been in the pool.
No, just because what's the point? Just leave it on.
Yeah.
So I'm used to, as a person, always having a watch on.
Right.
And therefore, if it's charging, I'm like, oh, I don't have my watch on.
Yeah.
So
I used to wear a watch a lot. I've got lots of watches which are like really quirky kind of. I've got a watch that just displays the seconds on the arm, and then it has 2 little windows, one for minutes and one for hours. I absolutely love it, but it's impossible to read, but it looks great. And I've got another one that's got no arms. It's just got shades of blue.
Okay.
And it's a great thing. It's impossible to use, but I love it.
Yeah, of course it would be. Yeah.
But
I've seen a clock that does it's like an LCD screen thing where every minute, basically, there is a different literary quote that includes the time at that minute.
What?
So there's a different
that is
passage
excellent.
From like, from Hemingway or whatever that includes the time, and so the next day time it switches, and so it has the time emboldened in the passage from the book and gives the little citation and stuff.
Excellent.
I kind of want that. I think it's not, it's not like a big digital readout that's easy to read. You'd have to,
but
you're putting work in to know what time it is at any point. But it kind of, I love it.
There's a film called The Clock. I think it's called The Clock.
Yeah.
And I saw it in an art gallery in Boston, and it was probably the Boston Art Gallery or whatever that is. Big famous art gallery, and and it's got. It's synced with local time, and it's got all of the clock references. So there's a bit I had from The Third Man, I think, a bit of Buster Keaton, a bit of something else, all edited together for the 10 minutes that I sat and watched it. It's nothing but
it ran on a loop. It ran on a 24-hour loop for years, that film. In various art galleries around the world.
I love that. So that's the clock equivalent of that. That's great. Wow.
So I kind of love that.
Yeah. Actually, what I want is a clock with a LCD or an LED, a screen on it that you could play the clock movie into it, and it would just display that on the.
I mean, you could just get wall. Like a little tablet and
but I want it need to be round though, obviously.
Right. Sure.
Yeah. So
let's do it.
Right, I'm doing that. Yeah. But then. But that would be not just But that was so. It was an interesting insight into Martin Lewis, and and having seen him do that, you think that's why the website is as thorough and useful.
Because he's absolutely
as it is.
Obsessive. Yes.
He loves all that stuff, and that the fact that it's a bit kind of. I've got a spreadsheet with all the scores playing Scrabble with my wife, and. No wonder he said, your poor wife.
But he did genuinely regret having
to
walked
take
around
his...
the room for 20
Yes.
minutes without having his
Yeah.
fitness tracker on. And as soon as Alex
Amazing.
blew the whistle and the 20 minutes was up, he like grabbed his fitness tracker and put it back on his
Shoved it back on.
Took a deep
Wow.
sigh of relief. So
Yeah.
I empathise. I think
Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as he would. It wouldn't make me feel physically sick, but
but it's
I
interesting,
get it.
isn't it?
I
Because
get it.
and that's the market or the psychological market that those kind of fitness monitor things tap into. Is that these are the things that are easy to measure. It's easy to measure your heart rate. It's easy to measure your step rate. On
it's
your
it's a
phone.
proxy for how much exercise you're doing.
Yeah, but it becomes the thing in itself rather than I've got a step tracker on my phone, but I don't get upset if I've not got my phone when I'm walking around. But it would do this kind of weird comparing apples and oranges thing. It would say, right, you've done 12,000 steps today. That's the equivalent of half a hamburger. But the next day it would be 2 eggs. Or
I think that's dangerous because I would be so tempted if it told me what food I
to just eat that.
Burned.
You just
absolutely. I think, I can have a hamburger.
I can have that, and I will return. I would still be a 0.
Yeah, I've essentially cancelled out that hamburger. That'd be great.
That's
dangerous.
So they also, if they were true to their health-giving principles, they would put in, this is the equivalent of 4 kilograms of salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go, right, great, I can eat 4. Except the first thing we do is go, what's the equivalent of 4 kilograms of salad? Go, half a hamburger. Yeah. Yeah.
But the fact that steps are countable is separate to the fact that that doing lots of steps in a day is useful for your physical health and arguably your mental health. Yeah. And
obviously
if you're
not in Martin
counting,
Lewis's case.
No.
Yeah.
And if you're not counting the steps, it doesn't actually impact, for the most part, unless you're Martin Lewis, those health benefits.
Yes.
But if you're not measuring it, then you might not feel the same way. So and the final one I think we'll do on this episode, but before we will come back to this and do more another time.
Yeah.
Because we've made it up now to episode 82. This is Appeal to Nature, which is sometimes called the naturalistic fallacy, but there's also another naturalistic fallacy that is confusing, so I prefer Appeal to Nature. It's when someone says that something natural is good or something unnatural is bad because it is natural or unnatural, and therefore that imputes it with certain properties rather than synthetic chemicals kind of made in a lab being identical to those chemicals existing in the world which come from plants or whatever. They've just been synthesized differently. It doesn't make them more or less healthy. So this example comes from Peep Show.
Mark's going to Frankfurt, and I thought maybe if you fancied, magic mushroom party at my place.
Ooh, don't know. Magic mushrooms? Sounds a bit scary.
Oh, Suze, it's not scary. You just lose a sense of who you are and all that shit.
Will I still be able to play the piano?
Of course. Suze, they're mushrooms. They're completely natural. Nothing natural ever hurt anybody. That's a scientific fact.
It's a scientific fact. Yeah. In fact, oddly, I was listening to, on the way back from the gig last night, listening to the BBC World Service, a thing about whether fungi can kill us. And with
Absolutely.
the
in many
changing
ways.
And the changing climate brought about by climate change, that the fungal infections that are currently around the equator, so in Africa and South America and bits of the southern India, those would spread north as the climate changes. And these naturally occurring fungal infections, which in the north we get as athlete's foot and that kind of a thing, but in the equatorial parts of the world, that's a devastating lung and brain disease, which was used in The Last of Us. With that, the plot of The Last of Us,
the cordyceps.
Yes,
mushroom. Yeah. That's obviously
so it's that kind of thing. So
and
that's naturally occurring, and it counts for hundreds of thousands of deaths.
I mean, there is a plausible theory that that fungus like cordyceps could mutate in a way that would be significantly dangerous to humanity, because we don't have defenses against some of the ways that it could affect us. And that theoretically could be what wipes us out quicker than other things. But there's many ways that fungi can kill us, be it just us eating the wrong ones, or a mutation that causes issues with or being kind of easily transmitted between people,
or a truckload of them falling on you. That kind of stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah. I was once asked the question, "Can cheese kill?" And my answer was, "Well, in sufficient quantities, surely." Yeah. So yes, just the fact that something is natural. There's a publication that significant people in my life read, much to my intense irritation.
Is it what doctors don't tell you?
Yes, which is filled with, from cover to cover, with the appeal, not the naturalistic fallacy, but the appeal to nature. It's all about, they just do this because big pharma's bad, whereas big fungi, perfectly fine, or big mouthfuls of dirt, absolutely good for you. It's that kind of, it's a worrying one. I think it powers the entire wellness industry.
Oh, very much. There's an aspect of that, because there is a misapprehension where there isn't a comparison drawn between the regulation of chemicals. Because if chemicals are natural, because chemicals everything is chemicals.
Yes.
So when I say chemicals, I don't just mean things that are grown in a lab. I mean, molecules that exist in things. When they are naturally occurring, and people make nettle tea or home remedies out of bark, or
stuff that has been salicylic acid from
or things that homeopathy kind of thing, which doesn't include any chemicals, the
memory of water,
stuff that, herbal remedies and stuff like that, they are so much less regulated that any of the stuff that does actually have an active mechanism that has an impact on your body, usually it isn't regulated so that they know exactly what the dosage is in each thing you get, because it might be like a handful of leaves or whatever. It isn't properly dosed.
Twigs.
And there isn't a regulation on, and that's why kind of synthesizing it in a lab, it means you can exactly
what's the active ingredient and how much of it and what it will do.
Exactly what you need to the microgram, and you can put it in with other things that might help that to be absorbed in your body, and all kinds of different things that mean that you're getting realistically the same stuff molecularly. But it's done in a way that is far, far safer, and herbal remedies and things like that are not regulated in that kind of way, so that you're getting an unknown dose of a not entirely known chemical or set of chemicals, and supposedly, according to their theories, it's much safer and better because it's natural, because it hasn't been synthesized or processed as much.
It's a bit like defrosted. There's several friends of mine who kind of go, "Oh well, we haven't got the X, Y, or Z out of the freezer, so we won't be able to." I said, "Well, just put it in the microwave, because there's a defrost setting that works out how much it weighs, what it is, and then it will just defrost it." And they go, "Oh no, can't do that, because that's and it will do it in 15 minutes, if that, 5 minutes or something." And it go, "Oh, can't do that. It isn't natural." I said, "Well, it's It's just taking the active ingredient of sunshine and heat and just putting that in a machine.
Yeah, I mean, freezing it wasn't natural either.
No, yes, exactly. Yeah, well, it probably was in the Ice Age.
Unless their freezer, and even this isn't natural, if their freezer is a portal to the Antarctic, then,
right,
you know,
right.
There's
Well,
arguably
that might be a
natural
naturally
element to
occurring
that.
portal. You never
Could be, yeah. If it's a naturally occurring wormhole to the Antarctic, fair enough.
You can nip over there.
But assuming that they've used, you know, electricity and modern mining techniques to get the metals to make a refrigerator with a freezer section.
Yeah.
Then
all of which
already,
naturally occur. Yeah. Yeah.
They're already toying with nature and playing God by just keeping their fish fingers at a sub-zero temperature.
Yeah. Or a suboptimal
They're naturally occurring fish
consumption.
fingers.
Yeah, no, yes, exactly. Yeah, well, they don't occur in nature anymore because we chopped all of them off.
Yeah,
and Captain Birdseye, I blame him for going around taking all the fingers off fish.
Yeah,
yeah, yes, it is. It's irritating. I think it appeals to. I would say it's almost an exclusively middle class experience. It appeals to a certain echelon of society with disposable income who want to get back to their roots, want to get back to nature, whilst living in a very expensive urban environment.
I think there's two echelons of society that it applies to. You've got the middle classes and above who go through that thought process, and then you've also got the wild men living in the forest. You know, there's those two groups that are very much based on appealing to nature. Yeah, and they're the people that turn up at winter solstice at Stonehenge not having washed because soap doesn't occur naturally. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That there aren't, given the periodic table lists the elements that occur naturally and that all chemical substances are made out of those, as you say, everything, chemistry, it's natural. It occurs naturally. Some of it could kill you. And so there's this kind of implication that man-made identification of chemical elements and active ingredients somehow invents something that's outside of things that are naturally occurring. I'm struggling to think of how would you? It's like inventing a new letter. If you were going to invent a new letter from whatever alphabet you use, what would it be? Yeah, and it's got something outside of your experience. It's a bit like the argument that our technological advances are somehow subduing evolution in some way. That they are messing with evolution and changing the way that humanity is evolving. To which my response is, how do you think we got the brains that created those technological advances? It's part of evolution.
Yeah.
Our ability to do stuff that we do these days is because we evolved to be able to do those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everything we do is a byproduct of our evolution and therefore part of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't allow evolution to continue on the pure wild survival of the fittest hunter-gatherer model that was never. It was just a way of describing a particular era of evolution in our human history, which is a tiny spark of time in a huge cosmological timeline. This is every bit as much a part of the evolution of humanity as anything that came before.
Yeah. Yes, and if we accept that evolution is natural, careful you right-wing listeners, then it all comes under that. There was a thing on what's interesting about this, can fungi kill us? was that the body temperature of humans is too high generally for fungus and molds to survive. However, there was somebody who did a study that had said that was true in the 1700s and 1800s, but since then, humans' body temperature has gone down on average by about a degree.
Yeah.
Because we are no longer infected by tuberculosis and
that's
things like that.
My understanding, at least,
meant we were in constant states of alert.
Yeah, my understanding
and
is that
inflammation.
aspect of it isn't entirely true.
Right.
The standard body temperature,
yeah,
which in the UK has always been 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's considered
odd.
to be in the US, like what the kind of everyone knows what body temperature you're supposed to be. But the UK, it's always been, it was always, when we were growing up, 98.4. And that's like where the line is on a thermometer if you're kind of taking someone's temperature. That is fairly arbitrary. It was decided years before they'd done any real testing on what the average is. People are all over the place. Like, I typically run colder than that. Like, I would be kind of 37 is the standard. I'd be 36 or 36.2 or something like that. So,
and yet you don't feel the cold.
No.
Yeah.
So
that's what I know about Jim. We kind of went out the other weekend, and I said, "You're not taking a jacket?" He said, "No, it's sunny." I went, "Yeah, but the sun will go down eventually." He went, "Yeah, I'll be fine.
No, I'll be fine."
Yeah.
So the point is that the temperature that we know, everyone knows humans are the human body is supposed to be, is an arbitrary thing that was decided centuries ago and isn't accurate for most people. It's if anything, it's a little high for most people. So when you take an average these days of what people actually run at, it is a degree lower than it used to be, but that's because it was decided before anyone had really done that. One of the things that does have an impact on the possibility that something like cordyceps, which, you're right, can't survive inside the human body because of the temperature.
Yeah.
One of the things that means that might in the future become a problem is the warming temperature of the globe, because fungi, as with many other things, are evolving to live in warmer temperatures.
Yeah.
And so as the temperature rises, you get mutations in those things as well as other organisms that mean that they would then not die if in the human body. So that becomes more of a threat. So that is my understanding, at least, of where the differences over time have made this a more plausible problem for us than they used to be, or than they currently are, to be honest, because they're still in a situation where it's not a threat to us because of that situation.
Yeah. So that's So it also makes me think of when I went to Australia, probably when we were doing this episode, and the advice you got from everybody that you met was, just look out for everything because everything will kill you. So, but it's all naturally occurring. But it's not necessarily good. But it's not. He died a natural death. Yeah, it's not everything that's out there is naturally good for you, because it's it's either bounding across the road at sunset and you're going to crash into it, or it's lurking under the toilet seat in the outside dunny and will just kind of kill you. Yeah, it's a bit like dying suddenly. Where kind of everybody dies suddenly because you're alive, you're dead. That's there is no such thing as it's that. Yeah, so it does, and it is. I think when we went to a QED conference one year, and I bought a book on the myth of the Wellness Society to kind of counteract the subscription holder in my life of What Doctors Don't Tell You. Not been read. They're not been read.
Shocking.
Because it's about it's kind of about confirmation bias, as you know. A great deal of that is, oh yeah, well this is all natural, and you go, yeah, really. So that's consequently there's a massive expense going out constantly in the wellness direction, but part of that is that I think the wellness business knows that certain parts of the society actually what they require is somebody to listen to their ills rather than provide them with a fix. And I think that's where the wellness industry is exploiting the fact that the health industry has a limited number of people that are practitioners, a limited number of limited time that they can deal with people's questions, and not to be gender about it, but you know, there are parts of society that want people to just they want to feel heard rather than
it's unreasonable to be slightly gendered about it, in as much as men typically, not in all cases obviously, simply don't access healthcare in the same way.
Yes.
They don't seek healthcare, whether it is from a naturalistic perspective or a medicinal.
But they will turn up and say, "I've got this thing," and then they will feel satisfied when the practitioner says, "Right, you just need to do this." You go, that's what you go for.
Yeah. I think you're right that the wellness industry relies on listening more than providing a fix, but that's absolutely not how they market themselves.
Right.
They promise fixes that don't exist, often to problems that don't have fixes.
Right. Right.
And what they offer is simply listening and giving you bullshit that isn't
giving you confirmation bias,
not
and part
proven
of
to work or proven
part
not
of the
to work.
and part of the listening and part of the solution provision is to do down the
that's necessary.
The big pharma is to play up the unnaturalness of medical interventions.
Yes.
And that's, whereas it's perfectly natural to die of to die of consumption, but you can get treated for tuberculosis because we cracked the thing. Or it's perfectly natural to get measles, mumps, and rubella, and be affected by that, or you could get polio, but it's also we've got RFK Jr. saying we'll just do away with vaccines because they're
according to
natural.
At least one wellness influencer that I've seen videos from, if you eat literal sticks of butter, just like as if it's I was going to say cheese, but I realised that's not a thing that you're supposed to eat like that either. As if it's an apple.
Cheese. Right, okay, yeah. That's actually how I do eat cheese.
Well, of course. We eat cheese like that, but like society says that's not okay.
It's unnatural.
But if you just eat sticks of butter as a snack and like mostly meat, then you don't need vaccines or even sunscreen.
Or even sunscreen. Okay.
No, there's a weird anti-sunscreen movement among the right-wing wellness sphere.
Wow.
So, and it's all because of diet. You can just diet your way out of sunscreen. It's fine.
Okay. Really? What you're just exuding? But surely, if what you're exuding is basically butter, you're just going to be
you're just going to basting yourself. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. So you're going to be What is that smell? I can smell burgers. No. It's Alfred next door. Oh right. Oh, he's a Republican. Yeah. What I can smell.
If you add a bit of garlic butter into the mix, it starts to smell lovely.
Baby. Oh man, that would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah, you smell. Yeah, you would. Plus that. That's very natural garlic butter. Yes. Garlic.
It's antioxidant,
bread. Probably.
Yeah.
In which case you should take that rather than vaccinate yourself or use sunscreen. Really? And wow.
Yeah,
because there's nothing more natural than melanomas. Nothing more natural than skin cancer. Yeah, getting burnt to a crisp. Yes. Yeah.
So that will
conclude our
be enough for today.
Yes. Constant, right? See, this is, whilst it's quite pleasant to go back and look at them and go, oh yeah, we did that. It's also ultimately depressing to realise that, and I know I say this every time, it's still going on. All of these things, 175 of which we've now identified, are still going on.
Some of these occurred before we actually talked about it and were only brought to my attention after the fact. So there is, maybe these fallacies have completely disappeared from society.
Maybe we've cured them now. Yeah. Now that would be interesting.
Examples.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. I expect so.
That would be it. Yes.
I've got no evidence to the contrary,
but
for these specific fallacies.
Yeah. But that would be, yes, this is part of my proposed PhD, isn't it? Whether the invention of fallacies, it coincides with communication uprisings, political changes, that kind of stuff. And also, yes, as part of that, you would have to say, okay, I've noticed the disappearance of these kind of fallacies are now no longer around because
sadly, I don't think. I don't think I can point to any fallacies disappearing at any point. It's not like
perhaps
polio.
It's a longer time scale. Perhaps it's longer than the time since Aristotle that we've got to wait for them to disappear.
Maybe it just takes more than 3,000 years.
Yeah, for them to go away. Yeah,
could be.
The Overton window of
the arc of history is long,
bias.
but it leans towards logic.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced.
We can dream on. That's right. Well, we hope we are. Yes, as I've once said, and we've adopted it as our T-shirt byline, bringing down the Trump administration one fallacy at a time.
Yeah.
So
we will do more of these in a future episode. Join us.
Thank you so much for listening,
or whatever we end up doing next time. And we'll see you then.
And if you've identified any examples of any of these that you would like to bring to our attention, please do so through the usual
the bucket
channels.
is getting low now, so I need to fill it up again.
Yeah. Now we've emptied it, we're kind of going, what am I going to put in there? Yeah. Yes, measurements of footsteps, obviously. Yeah. See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks very much. Bye.